Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com here for my fourth match with my Gruul Dragons budget build. This seems like a pretty decent hand. We're going to be leaning hard on this one forest. We can't even get a forest with this Bloodstained Mire. Okay, we're going to keep. Normally what I do is always play the Sprawl over a creature because they're just harder to deal with, but since we're unable to get a basic forest, I think we might run out this Delighted Halfling and hope that it lives long enough to field or ruin whatever non-basic land our opponent hopefully plays, and then use that to get a forest if we don't draw one. Going blind into and having just two Utopia Sprawls means we would end up possibly putting it all on the same stomping ground, and if we're not knowing what we're playing against, it could be something like a Blood Moon deck or something with land destruction. Looks like it's going to be some graveyard shenanigans though. Basic forest of their own. Okay, so we're going to be playing against Living End, it looks like. So I guess we can probably go ahead with this Utopia Sprawl. It's possible we just want to get a Bone Crusher Giant out there to have something that when they Living End that we get back. I mean, it pains me not to use the Stomp, but we're just going to play the Bone Crusher Giant, and then next turn hopefully be attacking for 9. And then when our opponent, if and when our opponent Living Ends, we're hoping that we get, I don't know, I guess they'll exile our board first. That's how it works. So we need things in the graveyard first. Anyway, we're just racing right now. Next turn, they're going to be able to Cascade. And get back this Oliphant. Glorybringer is really good, though, because that lets us put pressure on our opponent after they do their Living End. So we could attack for 5, put them down to 11. They Cascade into Oliphant. And when we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana to follow up with Glorybringer, we go to 11. Glorybringer puts them to 7. Either way, 9 would put them down to 7 right now. So see if they have some sort of Brazen Borrow or like Petty Thief to stop one of these attacks. They're going to cycle, fill the graveyard, cycle some more, fill their graveyard. Hedge Maze, I guess that's the new Surveil land. So they're going to go to 8, which I don't think is going to put us fast enough because of they're going to be getting back and a subtlety on top of it. All right, well, sometimes your opponent has it all. I mean, we'll put it on top. It's action. It blocks. Yeah, I mean, they had, wow, I mean, just, this was their hand. they were able to pitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards essentially while getting lands. What a hand. 2 lands. I mean, the 1 land maybe even with all that. What a deck. And here comes the Cascade spell, I assume. Or not. Interesting. Oh, that's instant speed Cascade, of course. So instant speed puts them, they're getting so much power onto the battlefield. I guess they could just not have it, right? 4, 5 puts them to 5. That's not dead. I feel like we need to commit something to the board. Excuse me. We could just field a ruin and see it force their hand. Maybe they don't have a basic island in the deck. I feel like of course they do. All right, so if we questing beast, a cascade in the living end, we're left with doing no damage and just a glory bringer. If we don't questing beast, we're going assuming no damage. Living end, we're left with a questing beast to block, and then next turn a glory bringer. All right, so we're just going to go for combat. Maybe they don't have it. I mean, they've had such a powerful hand already, though. We know some of those cards are lands. So there's a 3-card hand holding up the mana for a cascade. All right, maybe they don't have it. Why am I tapping? Because it taps. I just need to tap my mana over here. That's why. Go after their land. It doesn't really do anything. I mean, maybe they didn't have it, which maybe we should have gone for it, but it feels unlikely. They always have it, it seems like. Maybe they're really hoping to stick a 1 ring to survive. Maybe they thought we had some shenanigans. They knew what we were drawing, though. And of course they have it. There it is. They're going to do it on our end step so that we can't, they wanted to make sure that we couldn't cast the questing beast and that we just die, I think, to attacks right now, right? I think we're just dead now. We're at 17, 3, 6, 12, 17, 21, duh. Whoops. So that's why they didn't do it. Because they could just take the damage, go to 5, and we're dead on the swingbacks. So, yep, pretty frustrating game. That's what Living In does, though. And that's why we have the Tormod's Crypt. So bring in the Tormod's Crypt. We could do Blood Moon, I just don't know if it matters. Veil of Summer is nice to protect against some things, but I'm not sure what we cut. The subtleties are so backbreaking. Lightning Bolts are only going to be so good. Maybe we just take out Lightning Bolts. Bring in the Veil of Summers. Lightning Bolt gives us a little bit of... Do we take out the Kiora? Or put back in the Kiora or a Arbor Elf to help speed up our game plan? I'm going to go Arbor Elf just to try to maximize our chances of getting out a turn 3 dragon. Lightning Bolts seem to be pretty bad against this deck. They're not going to win, usually incrementally. And, I mean, double bolt there, we would have had the mana to, we would have been in a position to kill them, but that's going to be very lucky. We'd have to get very lucky to be in that position. We had a good hand, good start, but Cascade turned 3 into what they just did. We do not have any of our graveyard hate. We do have some ramp. Is it fast enough? I just don't know if it is. Do we mulligan for Graveyard Hate? I feel like if we don't mulligan for Graveyard Hate, then it's just like second verse, same as the first. But then if we do mulligan, and just have a worse hand. All right, we're gonna try one mulligan and hope for. All right, well, we got all the Graveyard Hate in the world, and we have a lot of ramp. So I'm just debating about these Tormod crypts. If I want to bring them, throw them out there. I kind of want to wait until at least turn 2 after they've managed to fill the graveyard. So now I'm debating whether to do Utopia Sprawl or Delighted Halflane. Probably Delighted Halflane for the uncounterability of if we draw a Planeswalker. We don't want to just run out the Tormod's crypt and like show our opponent that they can that what they're up against already. We want them to go ahead and execute their game plan of filling the graveyard. At least a little bit before we go and exile it. And since we have 2 of them, we can get through 1 counterspell at least. So they surveilled, left it on top. So we love a 3-mana Planeswalker here. Stomping Ground, that's fine. Let's get in with the Delighted Halflane. I mean, it's not fine, but we're going to need to make land drop, 1 more land drop this turn, or this game to get to 5. So it had to happen at some point. It would have been nice to get a 3-mana Planeswalker there instead, because then that does the same thing for us, especially with this hitting like a cure with this Utopia Sprawl would have been really nice. I don't think, unless our opponent's missing land drops, I'm not sure they're incentivized to cycle a lot of things on their turn. They'll wait till the end of my turn every time, and then if they wait till the end of my turn, play a land here, wait till the end of my turn to cycle, then play another land, they can just cascade then. So I feel like we're basically left playing the Tormod script this turn and hoping they don't have an answer for it. And we're hoping to hit a dragon. Dragon would be really nice. Questing Beast. Okay, well, that's not really what we wanted, but we have the mana. Let's see, let's undo this. So we'll go ahead and stomp their face. See what they do. We wouldn't have been able to cast it that way anyway, so they can counter this if they want. Subtlety, what we're assuming is, yep, cycle. So I think our opponents maybe, I don't know what they're doing, maybe they feel like, I don't know, cycle just to draw a card, see what they get, if they hit a subtlety. Yep. They weren't expecting a 0-mana Tormod script, I'll bet you that. So now they can scoop it up. That was a fast scoop. All right. Well, now we know how much this, now we know how much that messes with their game plan. That's hilarious. All right. Well, we got a game. Our graveyard hate plan worked. Do we just run it back? Do we try to mess with them with blood moons? it doesn't take much, right? One red, one green, so they probably fetch up a basic forest immediately. That was fun though. It's nice to get a game against the living end. That deck seems, the Cascade decks all feel like, I don't know, I have to think about it. Maybe the after Scam or maybe before Scam. Those two are the top two most unfair busted decks in Modern, in my opinion. So we'll keep, we don't have the turn 1 mana dork, but we do have the Tormod's Crypt, so hopefully we'll draw a turn 1 mana dork. We have the turn 3 mana dork. By that I mean Planeswalker. And we have some pressure, so hopefully that the Tormod's Crypt will wreck our opponent's plan again. Oh, I love you, Questing Beast, but I really don't like drawing so many of you. But now our opponent is on to our Tormod's Crypt plans, so they will probably be less likely to pitch their entire hand once we've tapped out. And now they're already at the 2 mana, so at this turn we probably have to put out the Tormod's Crypt. Oh, they got the Grief. I forgot they played Grief. Oh well, that probably is the game for us because we have the Crypt, but maybe we'll get lucky and draw another one. That's the big brain coming in. It worked so well last game, and I hadn't seen Grief again, and I know they play Grief. That's one of their best cards, Tormod's Crypt. And now we're just left basically doing nothing. And I'm sure they have the Cascade card in hand. Yeah, I know they play Grief. We didn't see in the first 2 games, so it was not on my radar, which is my fault. And it worked so well last game to keep the Tormod's Crypt in our hand until we had, until the turn they were about to go off. But they got us this game. They got us. Do they have the Cascade spell? I mean, they always have it, is what it boils down to. I've never played against a Cascade deck where they didn't have the Cascade spell on turn 3. Hey, they don't have it. Holy moly. Tormod's Crypt one time. Oh, well, I keep forgetting there's instant speed. Of course they have it. That's going to happen at the end of our turn, and we're going to die. Anyway, Cascade, man. Busted deck. They took our 1 hate piece, and now they're going to Cascade, and we're going to die. So, how fun for us. I really wish we'd hit another Tormod's Crypt, or had 2 like the first one, the last game where we had 2 in that. Yeah, like I said, I've never played against a Cascade deck where they didn't have it, but maybe they actually don't have it. They didn't do it at the end of my turn. It looks like they may not have it. We have a chance. We have a chance to find a Tormod's Crypt right now. Please, Magic Gods, give it to us. All right, so I think we will. They know about the questing beast, so we're going to go ahead and cast this questing beast. Tormod's Crypt, please. Will our opponent actually not get a Cascade spell the entire game? They draw so many cards. I guess it's bound to happen sometimes, right? Endurance. Okay. Just as a blocker, sure. Or not. Interesting. Maybe they're, who knows what they're up to. I'm just keep expecting them to cast a cascade spell because they always do. Is this it? Is this the moment? Just cycle, cycle, cycle into it. There's a cycling card. All right, well, we still have a chance, maybe. That just gets them a land. Doesn't draw them a card. Did they forget that our... Okay. So we now have... I mean, we're going to go for this Utopia Sprawl's maximum value, but at this point, I'm worried more about counter magic. So man, we would love just to hit a Tormod's Crypt. Are they going to do a subtlety here? You think they would have done it already. All right, so we are really hoping they didn't draw into their cascade spell because they are now dead on board. Did they get it? Are we going to steal a game? I mean, at this point, yeah, the thing has reach is the problem, but one of their things has reach, I should say. They're digging hard, digging hard. Will we get a game against... Hey, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. Like I said, I've never played against a Cascade deck where they didn't have the Cascade spell. They did a lot of cycling. Well, that's for land. So they got what, two? They dug. They drew 3 cards, including scrying. They dug deep. They did their thing. They just could not find their cascade spell, and I've never had that happen before. So holy moly, I feel very lucky. Dodged a huge bullet with that one after they took our Tormod's Crypt. But hey, I'm going to take it. I think that might be the first time I've beaten that particular living in deck with dragons, but I could be wrong. Anyway, feeling good about that win again as two match wins in a row. We're going to go for that magical 3-2 in the next match, but I'll see you at this one, or I'll see you at that one. For now, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, and I'll catch you on the next one.
This is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, and this has been another edition of Dragons and Modern. Be sure to go to my site and check out all of my original Magic the Gathering content, where I post articles and video of my janky modern brews in my commander decks. I'm also publishing a couple chapters every month for my science fiction fantasy novel called The Pod Kind. Check me out on YouTube as well. Click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one.